Hi, I do apologize. I had meant to get back to this video before this, but it didn't happen, obviously. So what I'm going to do is, I really haven't had time to lay out anything, so I'm just going to go with it and figure it out as I go along, which is what you would be doing anyway, most likely. So we're just going to do stairs up to the center of this beam. So let's select the beam. And we want to go down in the z-axis to the ground. So I don't remember how high this is. So we'll just go in here and let's say we have the grid level should kind of always be your ground level. So let's say this is 10 feet. Alright. So 10 feet in general, here in America, we don't want the rise to be any more than 7 inches. So if the rise was 6 inches, that would be 20 steps. So it's obviously going to be less than that. So what I usually do is I'll just do divide, and I'll guess like 17. So I'll say there's 17 rises. And then what I'll do is I'll just check this. So you could use a calculator, a piece of paper, whatever. But see, I'm a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is I'll select similar, I'll delete those, and then hopefully you can remember how many you picked the last time. I think it was 17, right? So let's do 16, and then we'll check this distance. And, oh, I did less, I should have done more, apologies. So let's go again, just shows you. Select similar. I had meant to go the other way, so let's divide and we're going to do 18. So 18, alright. So now when we check this, it should be less. It's probably 6 and 13/16 or something like that. Alright, 21/32, so that's good. So I'll do, usually I either do a 10 or 11 inch going. I'll do an 11 inch and a 1 inch handicap, so it'll be 12 inch threads. So let's draw a line here. We're going to start the stairs out here 12 inches. Okay, so really I should have drawn this line out 12 inches. So what I'll do is I'll copy all these and I'll move them out that 12 inches. Now, like I said, I should have just did this correct the first time, but I don't have time to do this video over and over, so hopefully we'll be fine. So I just copied it there, and we'll leave the other one there for now. You know what? Let's not leave it there, because it's just in our way. I won't be able to see anything. Alright. So now what I do is I'll draw a line from here out the 11 inches, which is my going. So the 12 is 12 on the top. Let's say we decide to do grating here. It'll be a 12 inch grating step. And what I do is I'll copy this down. And I just copy like this. You can also just select this and do copy. Go here and do array. And do 16. Something like that. Now, if I want to do a concrete slab, let's put a slab in here so that we can see what we're doing. So let's draw a slab in here. Doesn't really matter size, I guess. 8 inches thick, that'll do. So this is our stairs. You can see that last one should be on the ground level. So I'm going to go to the level symbol and just check. So it's 4 inches. So that's kind of weird. So why is that 4 inches? So I've made a mistake somewhere, it seems. No, my level. Oh, sorry, that's 4 feet. I had changed this to 4 feet before. Okay. So I had set this ground level to 4 feet instead of 0, so that's fine. So we're good. We're on the 4 feet mark, so that's fine. So this is going to be our start point of our stairs. Don't make the mistake of picking the first thread because you need to start down here. So now, clearly a stairs this long would have a landing. I'm not going to get into doing a landing today. It's not a big deal, but we'll try and keep this video short enough. So let's go to extended modeling, pick your stairs. So it's looking for the start point, and I usually use the default, the start and end point. That's what I always use. So I just right click, then I would click on the start point, then I would click on the end point, and then I want it to be the middle, which is the default. So I also right click, and we will have a stairs will come in here. So this stairs maybe one I have in the macro already, or maybe not. It is related to one in the macro because, as you can see, it doesn't look too bad. So what we'll do is we'll create two types of stairs here. We'll create this type of stairs, and we'll also create, so you can see here, if we want to move this stairs, we need to be in 2D wireframe. You need to move this box on the inside, which you will only see in 2D wireframe, I believe. Alright, so let's go through, double click on the joint box. So basically what we're going to do is, we can see that our thread has stopped here. So when you're looking at your stairs, generally it's good practice to look in from the side. So let's move this down here, and then we can see what we're working with here. So we can see this looks pretty good, but you have a clash here. I kind of didn't really want it to come in as one of my stairs, to be honest, but we can still, yeah, we got plenty to work on here. You can see this is obviously designed for like a second flight stairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to landing, and then we're going to go to bottom landing, and you can see the distance and the nosing. You have all these things for the landing, but go back to the first option, create front profile, create back profile. There's also the profile sizes here, which we will not change for now. So you can see it's got rid of those profiles. I have a step here I don't need, so go to the bottom landing second option, create first thread. I do not want to create the first thread, so you see that jumps back up. Right, so we're getting close to what we want. At the top, we seem pretty good, so let's go and look at the top landing. We can see that's our channel size. Same for the rear. We can change these sizes if we want. I'll just leave them for now, although I do like to use a bigger channel. Let's just change them. Let's change it to a C channel and a C12 by 20.7. So you can see that these will change. So they did change. So now we want to go back. We can see our step general, the formula it's using. We are getting a rise is correct. If this is incorrect, you might need to add a step. So you might need to untick that box. So we're going to go to our stringers again, and go to stringers and change these sizes to the same as the top landing, which we just changed. You can see the stringer offset is 2, which is what I want. So I have 2 up here, and I have 2 here also. Step general, thread type. So the thread type is given to you here. You can see what it is. So generally for stairs like this, we have a carrier that goes in here that bends. So there's 1 bolt here and 2 bolts here. So I generally use this one, and then I just put in the carriers later. But we're not even going to worry about it. This will have to do. This is as good as you're going to get. So as you can see, this is type 21. So go down here, you can see it's this one. So it's a carrier underneath a bent pan. So you basically just follow in the directions of what this is giving you. So you can see I have it welded and welded. If you do bolted and bolted, it will add bolts. So generally this will be welded and welded. Now, if you come down here, you can see that these are both shop welds. I don't want them to be shop welds, so let's do site weld, shop weld. And we'll close it, and let's see the site weld. So the first weld is going to be, yeah, so the site weld is to the pan. So if I select the pan here, you can see that these are welded to the pan. That's not what I want to do. So we're going to go back into the macro. We're going to go to the weld, and the first weld referenced is the weld to main. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. Stringer, step general, thread type. So I want to change this to shop site. So shop site, let's close it again just so you can see. And you can see they're connected in the shop. So there you go. So make this up in the shop. The bottom one needs to be altered. You can see that it has not changed. So what we're going to do is, this is a different one. So if you go back into your stair macro, if you go down to your step bottom, thread type, you can see that it is just a weld and it's at the workshop. I want that to be at the site, so that's good. So now we're kind of getting there, so we're gonna, let's look in from this side. Let's open it again. And you can see the lines here for the stairs. So it lines up with those are the lines that I drew previously. And you can see that if I draw a straight line up here, it's going to meet with this one. Now, this is probably okay, but as you can see, it's a little long. So we'll go into step general, thread dimensions, and we can see the 2 number here. So we want to shorten the 2 number. So I have a 12 inch. It should be 12 inches from the back to the front. So plus the 3/32. So if I make this 32nd, it's going to leave it too short. So with all the bending and everything, you kind of have to eyeball it sometimes. So let's see if we go, if we did 1/8, it's too short. If we do 3/16, is too long. So 5/32, I guess, would be smaller, right? So you don't need to get too crazy, but that's probably fine there, right? So we're happy enough with that. Now you can see this front here is controlled by this 3, so you want to go to 3. That is too high for what I want, because we like to clamp these here. So we'll get a small clamp and just squeeze down and clamp that, and then you can get in here with a welding rod and weld. So that's too high, so I want to make that 1 inch, so I'll bring that down. So now I can weld in here a couple of spots. So it looks okay. We can see that the 3 dimension is the front, the back dimension is 4. It's from the top to the bottom. So let me change this. I should really have changed this to 1/8, to be honest with you. Let me change it to 1/8 now. Let me change this to 1/8. Pan, and we're still good there. Okay, so it's still not hitting. So that's fine. Now, a quick tip I'll give you is the angle seems to be correct, but it's just by sheer luck, to be honest with you. Yeah, it just seems to be by sheer luck, but let me check it again. So what I do for the angle is I'll add the 1 inch here. So let me close this out again. I close this out, and this is kind of important. It took me a while to figure this out. So what I will do is I'll take these 2 lines and I'll copy them over here. So I'll copy them over here 4 feet. Okay, so there's my 2 lines. This one is 11 inches. This one is 11 inches. I've got my rise in here. I'll just draw the line so you can see what I'm doing. And now I want to make this an inch longer because there's going to be a 1 inch handicap. And this is how I establish the angle of my stairs. And I go to there. And this is the angle that I need. So what I do is now I'll come up here to the measurement tools. I'll do the angle. I'll select these two lines. And it tells me 8.5 degrees. So write that down somewhere. And what I'll do is then you can go in and save all these stairs with those angles. So I'm back in the stairs and I want to try and get in here. Sorry. Custom view. Yeah, I was trying to get away without closing the giant box, but I meant to click on the side view first so you can see what you're doing exactly. So let's have a look at the step. Let's go to step, general, thread type, dimension type. So now I have 8.5, so this 7 degree here should be 90 minus the 7.5. Or sorry, the 8.5, so it should be 81.5. So there you can see now the stairs was not correct, even though it looked right. It wasn't right, because that's the angle I want. So the bend on the top here is 8, number 8. I want that to be 1 also, so change that to 1. Now you can see we're too long here, and this angle is incorrect. So this front bending angle is 100. I want it to be 90 plus the 8.5. And there's my bending angle, and now I can see where I'm too long here. So let's go 12 and 1/8. That obviously is not enough, so we need to go probably to 12. And that's good enough. You have a slight clash there, so you probably don't want to have a clash, just in case you do clash checks, which you probably should do. So we can drop it back a little there, and we don't want to go too far. You can even go to 64ths there if you can, depending on your units, but that's probably fine. And so that's pretty good. So now we've got our angle right. So if I draw a line in here, let's say I draw a line from this point back to this halfway point, and a line from here down to here, and then select those two, and then select angle, select this one, select this one. You know what, it's giving me the wrong angle because they snapped at different points, right? Look. Yeah. So let's move this over here. If we move this point over here, and move this over here. Now, this is a beginner's class, so, you know, I'm kind of going through things pretty slowly, so I'm sure anyone that's interested won't mind wasting a half hour or an hour trying to figure out how to draw stairs. It'll save them a lot of time in the long run, I feel. So 8.5, so my stairs is perfect. So that means if I draw a line, let's just check it. For instance, if you want to check it, let's copy this line in the Z direction over to the edge of this. And then if I draw a line from here down to the center, I'll draw a circle on the end of this one so I know where the end was. And now I'll come in here and I'll do a fillet with a zero radius. It should join these two if they're in the XY plane. No, this one is still wrong. Let's go there, sorry. This should join these two. Sorry, sometimes it doesn't work if your modeling is off slightly. Alright, there it worked. So now if I check the distance between here and here it's 1 inch, and that's perfect because that's where the concrete's going to be. You don't want the handicap to be down here because then it'll be less up here. So basically that's that stairs done. I won't say done, but we need to change a couple of things. I mean, the top is pretty good. You're going to need to put some pan in here afterwards. Nosing is good. So we need to put a connection on the bottom. So let's come in here to our connection vault. Come down here to these miscellaneous connections. I usually use the angle at stair. And let me escape out of that for a second. Apologies. We need to go in and reset. I always reset to world. Depending where your anchor is, you might want to set it here on the level your anchor is going to be. And then come in, do stair anchor, select your anchor. Reference point, yes, we want the reference point. We're going to select the front of the stairs. As you can see, this is cut back slightly, which is fine. So this doesn't affect the stair macro. You still have the stair macro working, so we can be happy enough with this right now. We can see there's going to be a clash between this angle and that step. So it's because this is a concrete step. So what we could do is maybe change the angle. So generally with these stairs we usually have enough room, but let me see. So if I have, yeah, because I did 2 inches of concrete, right? So you can also create a vertical profile, which you can see there is not coming out the way you want it to. The base level can be adjusted. -11, so let's go 10 inches. And we'll set this to 11. And you can see there's your base. You know, people don't want to do this really. What people usually do is just cut the channel and put a plate in the end of it. So I don't generally do this because it's more work for them in the shop. I generally do this. So what we want to do is angle. Let's change this angle. So angle not identical, and let's change it to 3 by 2 by quarter. And long leg on the ground. That'll do. I'm not going to get into this. It depends whatever way you want to do it yourself. So we can see the cut and the nosing. I have the cut set to 1 3/4 because the plate is 1/4 inch thick. So you want to, I do the cut by reference point. So if you do horizontal, it'll just put it out there somewhere. You want to go by reference point. I wanted -3 1/4, or sorry, -1 3/4, because the plates, so these should add up to 2 inches. I know it doesn't seem like it when this is a minus, but if we check here on screen with the distance tool, and if we go from here to here, we can see in the X direction, this is 2 inches, so that's what we want. Now, let's double click on that box again, no, on this box. General, and you have your anchors, all that stuff's in here. It's pretty self-explanatory. Welds, anchors, all that. Won't get into that. Actually, the cutback is important. I probably have it set to 1/2 inch. The angle, the cutback is 1/2 inch. Sometimes you'll want this right on the ground. And then the plate C is short, so you want to go back in. You want to extend that plate down. So general and nosing plate, and then the projection 0, because I had shortened it for the 1/2 inch. So then with this plate, what I generally would do is I'll come back into my advanced steel tools and I'll set the UCS object, and then I'll go to my features and I click on this and I click on the plate and I'll cut the plate off nice like that. So then to copy that connection, So we want to copy that connection. Let's just copy the connection. So we'll select one part of the connection. We just want to do the regular copy. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. And we're going to select this, and we want a reference point. Yes, we do. It's probably not a good idea to do it without a reference point. Well, you can see it comes out on this side, so that's not a problem because we didn't join the connections. So advanced joint properties, general, angle, single left, changes the side of that. This is already on the stringer, my UCS, so I'm going to do another cut. So go back down to your features, cut, and you can see we've cut that. So what we can do now is you can go to output and click on this button here, and it will tell you the differences between two objects. So pick those two plates, and we can see that those two plates are the same. Okay. So now you have stairs almost. You can see this bottom pan is too long. So we can either go back into the macro. So you can cut that plate also with a feature if you want. But if we go to step bottom, try type, dimension, we can see the angle of this stairs of this bottom one is also incorrect. I'm just glad I checked it, and the top distance is incorrect. So we want to make this 1/8, and we want the 8 to be a 1. If you remember correct, we'll have that 1. We want this to be 81.5, and we want this to be, this doesn't matter because it's not on this pan, we've cut it off, but it would be 108.5 if you wanted it to stay the same as the other one. So now the pan, to get this pan to come back around the corner, let me just check to see if it works. We'll want to make this bottom is 1, let's make it 0, and then the 4, let's make the 4 into 6 3/4, and you can see that lengthens that down. So I wanted to make that 6 3/4. 6 3/4, you can see it brings it up. I'm still a little shy here, so maybe we'll just make it 6.5. Whatever your rise is, but generally I'll leave it a little shorter because usually the ground is not level. I got 2. Alright, so that's probably a little high, but generally you keep it up a little bit just so it's not hitting the ground. And that's kind of your stairs, right? So I might just continue with this video, and I'll do a different type of stairs. So as you can see, we'll need to connect this back and everything. That's just using regular connections. You can put a cover plate on this, so let's go back in and we'll put a small cover plate on here just so you can see. So landing, top landing, the landing offset is 2. Nosing point, distance from nosing point. The landing lengths are 12 and 12. Top cover, plate. So it'll put the plate in here. So you can see that's the same height. Generally, I don't use this, to be honest with you. I just draw in a plate and angles up here. I feel like it's better. So you can offset it back like that, and there's your angles. Offset is -2. If you're making -4, it'll allow for the concrete, and then go back to the cover and change that to 2 so it's not clashing with the stairs. So you gotta trick around with it to get it right. You can see the offset from landing is 1 inch. That's crazy. So you want that to be like 1/8 probably. And there you go, you have a quick step, you have that quickly in there. Generally, I'll add this connections and then I'll put on a plate manually up here without having to explode the macro. So then we want to go into properties, library, And then we'll save this, and we'll save it as, I guess, what's this called? AS Beginners. AS Beginners. So AS, let's do ASBEG and then concrete, because that's a concrete pan stairs. Okay. And what I'll do is, I'll do a second stair video. So I've just saved this. I'm going to stop this video and I'll do another part with a different type of stairs. But I'll continue from this stairs. Okay, thanks.